No, I haven't. Good morning, everybody. Hello. I just thought I'd do a quick live video, basically because something quite strange happened yesterday. So I thought I would do. Oh, look, I've got something coming out of my ear, but it's a fridge magnet. I just thought I'd do a little quick video about it. So, I am a massive, or I was a massive sugar eater. I could have cake and chocolate, and to the point that I couldn't even keep track of how much cake and chocolate I could eat. I could eat loads. And a new shop opened in town a while ago. And it's a fudge shop. All they sell is fudge, and it's good fudge. They make the fudge. You can watch them making it in the window. It is just the best fudge ever. And so I avoided it because I've been trying to give up sugar for well over a year now. And I've kind of gone through stages. I've done sugar-free September and all these things, and I've never quite managed it. So because I was trying to give up sugar, I was trying to stay away from it. I know how bad it is for me. I tried not to go near the shop, but there was one day a few months ago, probably only about 2 months ago, I was in town with my little girl Samara and my niece and nephew, and we walked past the shop, and the smell coming out of there, oh my god, it was amazing. It just smelled so good. So we were in the close, running around the cathedral together, and when we left, Samara said, "Oh, can we go in there?" I was like, "Oh, okay." So we went in and had a look, and then we ended up buying a bag of mixed fudge to share. And I ate most of it. We came home and I went, "Oh, no, it's all finished now." So I kind of just ate most of it myself when she'd gone to bed. Oh, it says my connection is... Oh, there we go. Oh, whatever. So, yeah. So I just ate most of it myself. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to... There we go. And it was really, really nice. I really enjoyed it. And kind of thought nothing of it. Blah, blah, blah. So, excuse me. Oh, I think I'm going to sneeze. Oh, perhaps not. Okay. So, then I kind of was going on and on and on and not really, yeah, kind of half-hearted. I'm not sure. I know I need to do this, but, oh, chocolate, I'll do it tomorrow. You know, I need to give up sugar, but, oh, cake, you know. I was really, really bad at sticking to it. I could do, if I had, like, a challenge like sugar-free September. I did sugar-free September, and it got to the end of September and I just ate all the cake and all the chocolate. And it's also when you do something like that and you realise that where there's so much sugar in food, even in savoury things, even like crisps. When it came to crisps, when I did sugar-free September, the only crisps I could eat were Quavers and mini cheddars, because everything else has sugar, unless you get the plain ones. I think even some of the plain ones have sugar in as well. Like, what? Why would you put sugar in? Anyway, so I was kind of thinking, God, I really need to do something about this. I'm not really sure, you know. I didn't seem to have any sort of willpower around it, and I thought, realistically, I don't want to go through the rest of my life using my willpower, because you only have so much willpower in a day. So you can, or it's like, I can't remember what they call it, but you only have so much of it in a day. So you use up all of your self-control in the morning, not screaming at your child when they're kind of dancing around naked and you're trying to get them ready for school or nursery. You use up all your self-control doing that, and then not shouting at idiots in town and not eating cake for lunch. And I would always get to kind of mid-afternoon, or sometimes I'd even get to the evening, and I would just run out of any sort of self-control. And I would walk to do the nursery run with my daughter, and we had to go in a shop on the way home, and it got to the point that I would actually then start leaving early for the nursery run so that we could go into the shop, so that I could go into the shop before I picked her up, to make sure that I had cakes and chocolates. And I went through a bit of a stage with scones from Marks and Spencer to make sure I had that stuff in the house, because I was just like, I cannot go home and not have anything there in the evening, because I'm a single parent. So once I'm home. I can't go back out. She's asleep in bed. I can't go back out. So it was like this panicky feeling I would get, kind of, oh, there's nothing at home. Oh, we're gonna have to stop. And I would just have loads of chocolate and cake in the house all the time. So in the end, I thought, gosh, what am I gonna do? I have to do something. And I booked to see a hypnotherapist. I went to see a guy called Daniel, who's local. I'd known him for a while because he comes to a lot of the networking things that I go to. I think he came to the one that I was running for a while as well. So I kind of went in, and you kind of have a chat to start off with. So we were chatting for ages about all this stuff, and I'm quite open about kind of things that have happened in my past. I was going, yeah, so then I had a nervous breakdown and la la la. And he went, right, okay, I'm just going to go to the toilet, and then when I come back, I'm going to hypnotise you. And he came back and he said, like, I went from being quite open and yeah, whatever, you know, and then this happened. So that hurts my hair. To, oh God, you're going to hypnotise me. Oh shit. because it's really quite, you kind of letting go of your control. And when you've seen hypnosis on the telly, it's usually, you know, the TV shows where they make them walk around quacking and things like that. So it's not like I thought he was going to make me walk around quacking because he's a professional, but it's the idea that you kind of, I felt like I was giving somebody else control over myself. And it wasn't that I thought he was going to make me run around quacking or do stupid things, but that I thought I might embarrass myself. I thought I might start bawling or something. And I just didn't really know, like, what if I start snoring or dribbling? I didn't know what to expect. I don't know this person that well. Like, if I start kind of being an idiot or something, so I was a bit worried. But the first one, I think it was more of a kind of introductory thing. But he said I went really deep really quickly. And all you do is you just kind of sit in this chair. And I couldn't even tell you what he said. I didn't lose consciousness in that I could hear what he was saying the whole time. And there was noise from traffic and things outside as well. So, you know, I was awake, but I couldn't tell you what he said. And it wasn't any of this, you know, then I'll count to 10 and you'll fall asleep, and there was no finger clicking or anything like that. But it worked. I left there and thought, oh, you know, usually if I have an appointment in the day, then after the appointment I'll go to a shop afterwards as like a treat for, well done, you did what great, you adulted for an hour, well done. And I went into a shop and kind of thought, don't really fancy anything actually, don't really fancy any of this. So I was really surprised that it happened that quickly. And it, you know, I'm not saying I never eat any sugar anymore. I went back to see him, I think 3 or 4 times, and we worked on productivity as well and general healthy eating. But I am still kind of doing this thing. You kind of walk around and you go, it's like I sleepwalk into sweet shops or into the, you know, the bakery aisle at Tesco, and then I'll stand there and think, but I don't fancy any of this, doesn't look very nice. And for a while, to start off with, I was buying the things I used to buy, and I sit and eat them and think, doesn't taste very nice. Why did I like this in the first place? It didn't taste very nice. So then I was doing, you know, I was seeing the hypnotherapist and it was going really well. And then I did the drop a dress size challenge, which is where you cut everything out of your diet. So the first week I was literally only eating pretty much vegetables and meat and eggs. And that's what I ate for the week. So there was no sugar in my diet at all. And then they were slowly introducing things, and I went away at the weekend, and I basically said to myself, it was the end of the drop a dress size challenge, I said to myself, you know, eat whatever. The hotel food it wasn't bad, but it was very basic. So you would order chicken, and it would come with gravy and, you know, 2 types of potatoes and 1 vegetable. And by the end of the week, even Samara was craving, at the end of the weekend, even Samara was craving, like, peppers and things. She was asking for peppers and cucumbers. For one evening, she actually had a plate of broccoli for her dinner because she didn't want anything else. So I was anyway, kind of really just craving salad and vegetables and things. So so I had that weekend, and we did have ice cream and treats and things. But I found that I just wasn't really, I was more kind of having the ice cream because Samara had an ice cream, and I didn't want her to think like it's only something children do, or that, you know, she was, because she would eat an ice cream, we'd have to stand still and wait for her to finish it. And I didn't want her to feel like, oh, you know, I'm you know, being difficult or something. So basically there's no excuse at all. I felt like having an ice cream. I had an ice cream, but actually eating it, didn't really enjoy it. Came home, and then yesterday Samara had her preschool jabs at the doctor's, and we kind of talked about it through the week, and she understood. And I'd said to her, look, it's probably going to hurt. It's not going to feel great. You're not going to enjoy it really. It might not be very nice, but, you know, this is why we have to do it, and blah, blah, blah. And when you're done, we will have a treat. You can have whatever you want. So yesterday morning, before we went to the doctor, we went to the cathedral, we were running around, had a great time. And as we left, we walked past the fudge shop, and you could smell it again, that fudge. And it still smells absolutely amazing. And when I walk in there, I'm still like, I want to eat everything. But then actually, so she said, I said, if you want, you can have some fudge as your special treat. Okay, so we bought a bag of fudge, and we left it in my bag. And then we went to the doctor. She came out of the doctor's, and I said, do you want some of your fudge now? Yeah, okay. So she had a piece of fudge, and I had a piece of fudge. And then we were walking home, and I kind of got halfway back home, because we kind of, the doctor's surgery is quite a way away. So we walked back into town, and I was thinking, God, I just feel a bit rubbish. Oh, Hannah, yeah, no, I was addicted to sugar too, and I think mentally, I think was my problem more than physically. So I've got home, and I thought, oh, I feel sicky. I've got a headache. So I was drinking loads of water, and and I've had a real bad headache, and then I was just so sleepy, and I actually had to have a lay down. I felt awful, and I just thought, not so long ago, I ate an entire bag of that fudge, and they're not small bags. I ate a lot of that fudge, and I enjoyed it, and I didn't see any sort of side effect I didn't feel ill or anything. I just, other than that kind of low level crappy feeling which I had for ages, that's quite. And it kind of hit me that, yeah, like, actually, you didn't really enjoy the fudge. The fudge, I think, it's like when you're a kid, things you had when you were a kid, like Wham bars and stuff. If you go back and eat one now, you're like, oh, what did I ever like that for? Like, what was I eating that for? It was that kind of feeling. Like, when I was eating it, I was like, well, it's okay, but it doesn't taste like I remember fudge tasting. And it's not, fantastic. I mean, it is the best fudge I've ever had. That shop is amazing, but it wasn't like I didn't rush back to buy more, and I probably won't buy any more, and the rest of the bag actually went into the bin, unfortunately, because I just didn't fancy it. And then I was like, why am I feeding this to my kid if I don't even like it? Like, what am I doing? So yeah, I'm really the reason I went to see a hypnotherapist was because I really hate the idea of being good and having a cheat day or a cheat meal, but the whole I'm being good, I thought, I can't be good for the rest of my life. I can't deprive myself for the rest of my life. And I watched, what did I watch? There was some panel TV, it's probably The Right Stuff. I only ever watched The Right Stuff, really. And it was Cheryl Baker. She was on there, and they all had their favourite foods. And she had donuts in front of her, and she said, it's not that they're my favourite food, but they're the food that I deprive myself of. And I was like, I can't go through my life spending all day wanting donuts and not having donuts. I can't do that. I know that I can do that until lunchtime, and then I am done for. Oh, Martin, I'm lucky I'm not addicted to it. I don't have any extra. Oh, you're lucky, Martin. But it's sometimes the natural sugar as well is bad. But yeah, I just thought I cannot go through my entire life feeling like I'm depriving myself, like I'm stopping myself from doing it, because I know that I can only do that for so long. And even if I do like sugar-free September or drop a dress size or whatever, I know that I don't really have the self-control to stop myself. So I have to do something to get before I get to that point, to stop myself from wanting it in the first place. And when I went to see Daniel, the hypnotherapist, he said, I had this done, and you do find that things just taste differently. And they do. It just doesn't taste the same, and everything tastes, not everything, but sweet things now taste too sweet, and I don't enjoy them. So between that and the fact I'm more or less cutting out wheat, because I've kind of realised that wheat was actually really making me quite ill, I feel quite good actually. And actually, every time I do this, I look at my face and go, oh, spotty, but I'm a bit spotty, but I'm not very spotty. And that's a big thing for me as well, because I've been spotty my whole life. So I think the whole thing with sugar addiction is that it is a physical thing, and that you do crave it because you kind of need it, because your body gets used to running on it. And there are so many books and diets and things out there that will tell you, and they all tell you slightly different things. So some of them will say, don't have anything sweet because you need to get rid of the taste of sweetness, because if you're tasting sweet things, I do still drink Coke Zero, but I'm limiting that because I think that is probably still a bit of an addiction, but I'm still drinking some of it, but not as much as I was. But there are studies that prove that for whatever reason, when you eat something like that, or with artificial sweeteners, your body expects the calories, and then it doesn't have them, so it still wants them. Whatever the reason is, people who drink a lot of diet drinks do end up eating a lot more calories than people who don't drink diet drinks. So I know I need to come off of that. But besides that, there are diets that say you need to cut out all sweet things so that you're not craving the sweetness, and so that you reset your palate and you start to taste things differently. There are other diets that say you can sweeten, but only with natural sugars, like agave nectar and all of this. There are other ones that say you can sweeten but don't use any of those and only use rice malt syrup. All of these ones say different things. But for me, what I'm doing is, having read, I've read probably every single book. Kerry, I think I need... Yeah, definitely. If you're if you've just only had a baby though, Kerry says she thinks she needs hypnotherapy to stop her eating in general. She had a third baby 8 weeks ago, and she felt like she shoved something into her mouth before. I can't see the rest of the comment, but yeah, Kerry, if you've just had a baby, you've just had a baby. Give yourself a break. But if you're like out of control with eating, definitely hypnotherapy, because I've found that it's just, it doesn't make, they don't make you do something you couldn't already do, but it like wakes up that part of your unconscious mind to tell you you don't want to be doing that. I guess I don't really understand what happens, but it's not that they couldn't make you do something you didn't want to do, but if you want to do something, it helps you do it. So if you want to stop eating cake all day, then yeah, that's the way to do it. But yeah, so what I do with the sugar is I'm trying to cut out eating sugar, no, not sugar, and like sweet things in general. Where it comes to sugar substitutes, from what I've read, anything that contains fructose, it's fructose that causes the problem. And fructose without fibre, so fructose in fruit juice is just as bad as like stirring sugar into water, probably worse, and drinking it. So I don't have fruit juice. Samara has fruit juice because she has a poo situation that we're dealing with, but she's coming down off of that, and I'm every time she has it, I dilute it a bit more. But yeah, it's fructose that causes the problem. So agave nectar, it's natural and you get it from the health food shop, so it must be good, and it's not processed. They say it's not processed. It's brilliant. Your body doesn't realistically know that it's processed. It doesn't know the difference between sugar, brown sugar, white sugar, expensive sugar from Waitrose, cheap sugar from Tesco, agave nectar, whatever. But when it comes down to its chemical form, it's all the same, and the fructose is what causes the problem, and agave nectar is higher in fructose than even than sugar. So I don't have that. I do have some rice malt syrup in the cupboard. I don't really use it. I bought some artificial sweet, it might have been stevia or stevia, whatever you call it, and the aftertaste on it was vile, so I've not used that either. So I'm trying to just go without sugar for the most part, and it's going okay. After yesterday's incident with the fudge, I didn't fancy anything else at all to eat. I actually felt quite sick for most of the day, so I didn't really have any tea, which is probably not good. And this morning I had some fruit and yoghurt and homemade granola. So yeah, watch this space as I shrink. But yeah, I thought I'd do something about getting hypnotised, because so many people have gone, what, hypnotised for sugar? I thought it was just smoking. Yeah, you can get hypnotised to give up smoking too. The one thing he did say is, especially with people giving up smoking, a lot of people go in to give up smoking because they feel like they should, like they've been told they need to give up smoking. Their wife or their husband thinks they should, and that's with the window closed. Their husband tells them they should give up smoking. Somebody's told them to give up smoking, so they think they should, and that doesn't work. You need to want to do it yourself. So you need to feel like, I really don't want to do this anymore. For me, not for any other kind of reason, because that doesn't work. So so the sugar thing for me, it's an ongoing battle, and I have my moments, and I do still eat things I shouldn't eat all the time, but nowhere near what I was doing before at all. And I find also that I am craving weird things that when I was pregnant I craved peppers, but now I just really want like nice salad. Have a nice salad. We went for lunch when we came back from holiday. We went out for lunch at our favourite cafe, and my sister had like a sandwich and Samara had a kiddie meal thing, and I was like, ooh, can I have some quiche and salad? And they were like, do you want chips or potato? And I was like, can I just have some more salad? I want salad. And I quite like it, and that's for me, is anybody who knows me knows how much sugar I used to eat. I mean, I used to get on the bus to school in the morning, and you'd have to change buses in town, which meant going to the bus station, which meant walking past the bus station shop. And the people in the bus station shop knew me, because every single morning I would buy 1 or 2 packets of cherry drops, little boiled sweets, and 3 or 4 bars of chocolate every single morning, and I would eat them, and they probably would only last me until lunchtime. And the school cafeteria people knew me because I only ate cheese toasties. That was what I had every single day. They saw me come in and they would put the toastie in for me, and that's because I'm a creature of habit, but also because I was just sugar, white bread, cheese, sugar. That's what I've been like for most of my life. So for me, it's a real weird kind of feeling to be like, oh. And then I've kind of had this, like, I want to have a treat, and I don't know what I want to have for a treat then, which we discussed, and Daniel was like, well, why don't you make your dinner your treat? And I was like, are you mad? There's no fresh cream in dinner. So I'm kind of working on that side of it, because also when you're cooking for one person, it feels a bit silly to kind of get out more than one pan. If there are more pans than people, I feel like I'm, you know, being a bit extravagant for a weekday. So I don't really bother very much. I'm working on that. I'm working on expanding my repertoire in terms of meals and things, which I think probably Samara will enjoy too, although she's not very adventurous, but we'll get there. So yeah, I'm working on that, and I'm also working on it for Samara. I'm trying to kind of change what she has for a treat. So maybe about a bottle of bubbles or something instead, and also change, you know, her eating habits, which is probably, it's going to be more tricky than me because I'm trying to enforce it on somebody who has developed a taste, and I can't control what she eats at nursery. So that's a big kind of issue. It's not a big issue, but it's, you know, she eats quite well at nursery, but they have cake and stuff. So I can't kind of limit it all out of her diet, but I can kind of change what we eat at home and make it a bit more healthy, and change so that she has maybe new pens or a colouring book or something instead of sugar, which is what I'm planning on doing. But for now I'm working on myself, and I'm quite pleasantly surprised at how it's going. So I didn't weigh myself last week. I'm not going to weigh myself this week because I'm going to give myself basically time to just chill out. I've not worked out very much the last couple of weeks anyway. So next Saturday I'll be back to kind of weighing and measuring myself and everything, but not with an eye to kind of losing weight, but as a more of a kind of interest and to see how I'm going, because I'm also reading a lot of other diet books, mostly for the recipes and food ideas, but I find them quite inspiring to read anyway. So I've got Natalie Jill's 7-Day Jumpstart, and I've got, what's that one under there? The Clean and Lean Diet, which is by James, can you see that, James Dwigham? Is that back to front to you? It's back to front to me. And I'm also reading a book by an English girl who gave up sugar, because most of the books about giving up sugar are American and Australian. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I just thought I would do it. It's quite a long little video, isn't it? I just quite like doing video at the moment. So yeah, thank you very much everybody for watching. Do please share this with anybody you know who is giving up sugar or likes to watch crazy ladies in Batman t-shirts. Do you like my Batman t-shirt? Everyone was staring at me in town today, and I was like, why are you staring at me? Oh, I'm Batman. Okay, fine. Right, I'm going to go now. Thanks very much. I'm going to go and do some work. Have a lovely day.